the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Today on Open Conversation, we'll look at these stories. First, Niger State. 50 abducted students escape captivity, Christian Association of Nigeria reports. And on insecurity, seek help or resign, PDP slams Tinubu. And on security, Tinubu orders withdrawal of police from VIPs nationwide. Tinubu vows to defeat bandits, restore peace. On Christian genocide, U.S. demands release of Sunday Jackson as partnership condition. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Ifastec TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
You condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
She said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the dumb thing. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is High Chief Jackson Lekojo. High Chief Jackson Lekojo is a political analyst, he's a security expert and a regular on Open Conversation. Good morning, Chief Jackson, and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. And good morning, people at home.
And on to the story. Christian Association of Nigeria in Niger State has confirmed that 50 students abducted from St. Mary's private Catholic primary and secondary schools in Papri, Agwara local government area have escaped from captivity. The state CAN chairman, Bishop Bulus Dawa Yohanna, said the students regained their freedom between Friday and Saturday and quietly returned to their families. Yohanna explained that school officials discovered the escape after contacting parents to verify the pupils' whereabouts. He noted that the school has 430 pupils in its primary section, including 377 boarders. While 50 escaped and 141 were not abducted, a total of 253 individuals, including pupils, secondary students, staff children, and 12 members of staff, remain with their abductors. The bishop appealed for calm and urged continued prayers as efforts intensify to rescue those still in captivity. He assured that Christian Association of Nigeria is working closely with security agencies, community leaders, and government authorities to secure the safe return. High Chief Jackson, CAN is saying that 50 students escaped. I'm wondering how possible that is for 50. Were 50 released, or were 50, or did the 50 students escape? Because I am looking at, the implications of the escape.
Well, there are some things that is attached to security that I may not want to discuss much, particularly if I've serious thought about it and I was not able to convince myself the possibility. Then I may not want to dwell so much on it. But if we are saying about 350 something were captured, that don't mean they keep them in different cells or different camps or whatever, or when they kept them together and when these people, these 50 were moving out, they did not tell others so that others will follow them and possibly maybe, you understand? And were the abductors, were they deeply asleep for these few people to only be alert and moved? Were they so close, or the camp where they kept them so close to
the road
and to the community, that because if, like in River State, for example, if the abductors kidnapped some person and kept them in Aoda, I find it difficult the way 50 people will just come to the main road and boarded some cars to take them to their respective home. So when you see all this, you need to think much about this, and glory be to God. Maybe because they are Christians, maybe because Holy Spirit has just gone there to release them, but the possibility of 50 escape from the abductors that abducted them for monetary reasons, for those people to be so careless that 50 people moved away from the camp
at the same time,
and these people were not awake, or they went somewhere till these people moved, trek from possibly inside the forest to the main road and other things. So we don't want to say glory be to God, but I'm still very, very confused on how it happens. But God could do everything.
Now, part of the eyewitness report that I saw, particularly on social media, a young lady who said that her sister was is a student of that school, and the sister is a secondary student, said that they attacked the primary section first, and before they could get to the secondary section, the students had escaped by jumping the fence and all of that. And that young lady said it clearly that it was primary students, primary school pupils that were abducted. And she was saying between the ages of 3, 4, 5, 6, and the ages of primary school. That was the age that. So now I am trying to put 2 and 2 together. How these young children will be able to trace their way through the forest. I'm saying this because most times when issues are being reported in the news that has to do with security and national interest, most times information does not come out the way it's either underreported. I'm saying this as a media person.
Yes.
Most times it's underreported. Most times the information might be sketchy, but there are eyewitness reports emanating from the school saying that it was mainly primary school. And recall that when this happened, the first news that broke said it was just roughly 30 to 40, some said 50.
Yes.
Until that young lady came out to say it wasn't true. That her own sister said that over 200 students were abducted. And it was on that premise that, people started asking questions and more information started filtering out that it wasn't exactly 50, that as it was underreported earlier, which even brings me to question a whole lot of reportage that has been coming out, with respect to these affected areas, when they say, 20 has been abducted, 3 were killed. Are these truly the numbers? So the question I'm asking is, if we are to go by eyewitness reports that it was primary school pupils that were abducted mainly, the question would be, how would these young children, who probably never entered the forest before, know their way, know the track road, know how to escape? I mean, children of 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 9 years, make it make sense to me.
And that is why During the intro, I said I found it so, can I say, okay, I see it as a very wonderful work of God. If people were abducted and 50 of them were able to escape from wherever they kept them and walk through the forest to the main road, and from the main road to their respective home separately.
And the school had to call their parents.
And
according to Khan,
the school had to call their parents. Have you seen your?
How does that make sense? When it's already established that these children have been abducted. How does it? That story?
So to me, the school, this thing has been exposed to even the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I believe the people that will even dominate in every discussion supposed to be the security agencies. But these parents now, the school now left the security agencies and they start talking with the parents. And the parents now started responding. And at the same time, they were able to call 50 parents. And the 50 parents now
quietly returned to their parents.
Yes. So the school now, as they were calling one after the other, they were able to call 50 parents.
And how was the school able to identify the particular parents?
Parents of the school recognized, maybe through spiritual means, because it's a Christian school. You understand? So the parents now recognize Holy Spirit was directing them to call the exact parent of the children that escaped. You understand? When a child of 3, 4, 5 years, even up to 9 years, will now find their way out of the school in unison. All of them file in the same line, escaping through the night to the main road, from the main road to their respective homes. Is it possible that even within a big estate, some children of that age could even be missing? They cannot recognize their home if they have played too far. Not to talk of from the forest.
Tracing their way through
yes, to the main road, through the night, to the main road, and they see file on the same line, and when this one got to his house, enter his house. Another one get to his house, enter his house. This sounds so funny. This sounds so funny. There are times I used to advise people. I say there are some expert liars. Allow the expert liars to tell lies. They will tell lies to deceive people. But those people that are not expert liars, when they tell lies, people will believe them. But to me, this is so funny. I don't think the security agencies should accept this. Because I want to believe that possibly ab initio, maybe these parents just kept their children. And suddenly now say they were missing. Because we had 30. From 30 turned to 45. 45 turned to 80. 80 turned on a daily basis. The numbers were increasing up to when they got above 300. And suddenly, 50 of them now are back. They were not rescued.
That's the question. That's the question. Were they actually released or did they escape? Because they are two different things.
They said they escaped. That is different from if they went for them and forcefully collected them from their abductors. That is to say, they have been rescued. But these people were not rescued. They escaped. Children of 5, 6, 7 years escaped.
Primary school children.
Whereas at that age, they could be traumatized for only 1 hour and some of them will die in that process. Did they come to that school to pack them inside bus to the forest, or they carried them and some of them will walk about maybe 10 kilometers away from the forest and they came back home safely? No, this is, I think I am recommending that government should probe into it very deeply, while we are still congratulating the government and the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right.
The government should probe into it. We
Right.
need to know the true position of this. Yes.
All right. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate withdrawal of police officers attached to very important persons, directing that they be redeployed to focus on core policing duties across the country. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga announced the decision in a statement after a security meeting held in Abuja. The directive mandates that the VIPs seeking security escorts must now request armed personnel from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The presidency noted that police presence in many remote areas is insufficient, making it difficult to effectively protect communities amid rising security challenges. To strengthen national security, President Tinubu also approved the recruitment of 30,000 additional police officers. The federal government is partnering with state governments to upgrade police training facilities nationwide. The Abuja meeting was attended by top security chiefs, including heads of the Army, Air Force, Police, and the DSS. What do you make of this story, this directive by the President, Chief Jackson?
If this presidential directive will be effective, I think I begin to want to see positive action of government. It depends on it. Because in the time past, we've seen situations whereby IG will say, hey, withdrawal of all the police from the VIPs. That will last for only 1 or 2 weeks. With the third week, those people that were even using 2 policemen before we begin to use 4. This is a country whereby the numbers of police we have in Nigeria today cannot effectively police a state. Effectively police a state. But we have policemen now carrying bags for politicians' wives. We have politicians now that they will attach like 7 to them, 4 to madam, 4 permanently at home, and 10 to children. Whereas Nigerians are under-policed. So if Mr. President has spoken well, I think I should be praising the president in 2 years. I should be praising, it is the second time I'm praising some of his actions. But that is to say, if truly
it will be implemented.
If it will be implemented. Because Mr. President will not leave President Villa to come and begin to monitor, or there's any satellite that will give him the report of implementation. The IG may just nod into it yesterday and temporarily just tell these people, okay, don't go out with your security aids for about 2 or 3 days. After the 4th day, you see them out again. And there is no way Mr. President will know. That is it. So, but I think even if there is no difference between the life of a politician and the life of a common messenger in any company, they bear the same life, they are useful, because that common messenger today could become somebody meaningful, super meaningful to this country tomorrow. But in a situation where you go to some government house, you see over 300 police, but you go to some police post, you see it locked up. You go to some police division, you can't find up to 20 police officers there. So I think the presidential order and equally a presidential directive, I think it's very good. But my doubt is this: how effective will it be in the next 2 weeks?
The implementation.
The implementation.
How effective it will be.
Will it be in the next 2 weeks?
Well, one would say, considering that this directive have been given to NSCDC, probably NSCDC now has a role to play to ensure that, you know, this directive will be effective, don't you think?
But then, NSCDC, their own is not for internal security. They are for government infrastructures. for the protection of government infrastructure, pipeline, gas pipeline, electric lines, and other infrastructure like that. And now, by the time civil defense. By the time these people now, the politicians now rush into, you will now discover that if you have 50 maintaining protection of a pipeline, at the end of the day now they may reduce to 2, and they will withdraw others to give to politicians. So to me, whichever way you look at it, the civil defense will now be overwhelmed now. The civil defense, the purpose in which they are created, they will begin to they begin to be insufficient, because politicians now will rush to them and get them. So those people that are maintaining protection from infrastructures, they will reduce the number, leaving that infrastructure too at a very serious threat. So that is it.
You think even though this, releases the police or gives police more hands to handle security, on the side of NSCDC, there is going to be deficit of officers guiding the national and state infrastructure?
Yeah, definitely. Because all these politicians now, as I did money now,
a lot of requests.
So if care is not taken, they have to withdraw from their primary duty post. They will withdraw to come and follow politicians. So their primary duty post will be lacking protection. If federal government infrastructure is exposed to threat and an attack, of what value? That they're not sufficient in number to guide where they put them to guide. They're now following politicians. See, the simple thing is this: instead of you to begin to look for different drugs that can cure ulcer on your children, better feed your children well. If you feed your children well, you don't need to care for drugs for ulcer.
All right.
For them. What we are doing now, we are not feeding our children well, and that is why we are now running a task now to get drugs for ulcer. So whereas they say prevention is better than to cure. Let us see how we can prevent this nuisance.
All right.
That is bringing this country down, that is damaging our reputation across the globe. Let us see how we can stop it. Sometimes ago, some senators do not even need police. I've seen a member of House of Assembly in Rivers State before that said, what do I need police for? I've seen local government chairmen, I've seen senators that say, what do I need police for? But now, some of them even need army. I saw the Minister of State for Defense when he was moving to Kebbi on the instruction of Mr. President. No single police around him. They were all military guys. Do we need that? We are in this country where some ministers do not have any security aids. No.
Well, what I was actually getting to that, I wanted to ask you that question. That isn't this to a large extent still enabling insecurity? If the president is more concerned about the safety of the VIPs than the safety of Nigerians whose taxes are funding their lifestyle. Right. Now, because let's use National Assembly for example. Over 109
senators.
Yes. And
360 members of House of Reps.
Now, if we put all of them together, you are talking of security details to every single one of them.
Yes.
And you're not talking about 3 or 4 details.
Yes.
So now you're looking about over 1,000 NSCDC members detailed to National Assembly alone. Now, this is a National Assembly who appears to be entirely removed from the insecurity in this country. You know, I am saying this because I am openly calling out the National Assembly. I'm saying this because recall when President Tinubu became the president of this country, I recall very vividly that part of the first legislation by the National Assembly was changing the national anthem. And that legislation was done within days. Like, it was passed, went through first reading, second reading, passed into law, was signed by the president within days.
And what is the impact of it?
What exactly is the impact of it? That's the thing. But that was the swiftest, the fastest legislation ever done by this 10th Assembly.
If they want to borrow money too, it's always very fast.
Yes, very swift again. But now, people are dying. National Assembly sits. The representatives of these constituents, what are they doing? What is Senator Godswill Akpabio doing as the Speaker of the House?
And the Senate President.
What is the Senate? Yes, sorry, as the Senate President and the Speaker. What are they doing? What is House of Rep doing? Right? That up until now, legislations have not been made to tighten security. Legislations have not been made to tighten our borders, to even make our borders less polarized, considering that a lot of allegations and concerns are coming from the fact that most of these bandits enter through the borders. What legislation has the National Assembly made? You understand?
Yeah.
To tighten security, to even empower the military even more to fight on the Air Force, the Nigerian police and all that. What legislation has been made to empower them more? Since now, most of them are saying, oh, we have to wait for certain orders by whoever at the top, right? And since Zamfara State's governor, for example, has come out to say severally, I know where the bandits are. I can identify them. I know where they stay. I know their communities. But I am not in charge of the security. The issue is ongoing. Kebbi State governor has come out to ask questions. Who instructed the military to leave 30 minutes before disaster struck? These are issues that legislation can take care of. These are issues that the National Assembly can sit and legislate on to, break a lot of these bottlenecks and empower the states to act and empower security agencies to act. What is the National Assembly doing? And the president is saying that at this point in time, it is to withdraw the police and still give them NSCDC. NSCDC is for civil defense, which means they are saddled with the responsibility not to defend the VIPs, but to defend our collective patrimony and defend Nigerians as well. So, the question I am asking is this: of what use is detailing? Well, probably what we are operating in Nigeria is what George Orwell will always say in Animal Farm. All fingers are equal, but some are more equal than the others. So some lives are more valuable. Like I always say in this show, that it appears that even cows are more valuable than human lives in this country. Jackson, what is your take? Because you have talked about possible security or possible personnel deficits in NSCDC if NSCDC is now to take care of security for VIPs. I'm looking at it from another perspective. Why do the VIPs need security? Isn't that enabling them to even not do anything in the first instance that they are supposed to do? Because I assume when we talk about VIPs, we talk about the political elites in the country.
Oh, you see, let me come in this way. If you are living in a house with heavy and high perimeter fence, with a very ballistic kind of gate, the way you are sleeping is not the way I will be sleeping in a house without gate, without fence. And what will be bothering me will not bother you, because I will know that it is not easy for these people to scale the fence. It is not easy to kind of come through the gate. So you can relax well, and you don't bother what happened to the other people that are out. They don't even have doors. Now let me come back home. What I mean by this, that analogy, is that these people, whenever they are highly protected, they don't care what happens to people outside there. What profit a senator that his constituents are being killed, are not safe, but he himself is having retinue of police or military officers around him? Of what profit, of what benefit? These people have forgotten that they are just single person that on trust we send there to go and represent us as a proxy. Then that proxy now, by the time they get there now, the people that send them to go and represent them now become their subjects. So they don't care for the subject again. Now, just like both of us are talking here now, these people are made to protect government infrastructures. And now, the heavy load will now be upon them now for them to attach them to politicians. Local government chairmen will now go and collect civil defense. Members of state assembly will now go for civil defense. The senators will now go for civil defense. The commissioners will now go for civil defense. At the end of the day, all these office holders that will need civil defense in River State,
Chiefs.
the chiefs,
His Royal Majesty.
His Royal Majesties, companies. So at the end of the day, you will now discover that the numbers of men of the civil defense we have in River State will not be sufficient for the companies here, not to talk of politicians, businessmen, and other things. So to me, they are going to overload this. It's like you are collecting money from this pocket, leave it empty, and you are putting it in this pocket. By the time the civil defense now are with politicians, then the government infrastructure is with where the economy of Nigeria is coming from will be left, you understand, open. Then these people will go there to go and attack. You understand? So at a particular time, when they attack all those infrastructural development where the resources and others are coming, at a particular time, it will bounce on our economy. They won't be able to pay the salary of the civil defense. That is the danger.
And now the civil defense will now be more of lobbying to be posted to
yes,
politicians.
Yes.
You know, the original.
Now, some of them will go and borrow money now and give their principal, say, sir, you know, they have what they call juicy post. Yes.
All right.
That is it. So to me, I don't think anything is achieved
by this position.
Yes.
All right, very well. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has restated his determination to crush banditry and terrorism in northern Nigeria, insisting that no part of the country will be left to bleed in silence. Speaking through House of Representatives Speaker Tajuddin Abbas at the Arewa Consultative Forum's 25th anniversary in Kaduna, he said his administration inherited a deeply entrenched security crisis, but remains committed to restoring peace with urgency and fairness. He stressed that Nigeria cannot achieve national progress while a critical region like the North remains paralyzed by violence. Tinubu praised the ACF for 25 years of service as the conscience of the North and warned that the region faces one of its toughest periods, characterized by insecurity, declining communal values, and eroding moral standards. He expressed optimism that the North is approaching an economic rebound, citing the expected crude oil rollout from the Kolmani fields and ongoing rail, road, and water transport projects. He also disclosed that the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano superhighway will be completed and commissioned soon. The president endorsed the proposed ACF endowment fund, describing its focus on girl-child education, skills development, peace building, and conflict resolution as timely. He urged northern political, traditional, and civic leaders to recommit to the values of justice, courage, and collective responsibility, saying unity remains the region's greatest weapon. Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin also expressed confidence that the North can overcome insecurity if institutions coordinate effectively and tackle root causes. Chief Jackson, President is saying that he has vowed to defeat banditry and restore peace. While I am interested in your take on that, I actually have a question, a burning question in my mind. Now, I always wonder the quality of life, what the government sees the everyday Nigerians as, if they even understand we are human beings or they see us as mere chronologicals. I'm saying this because in all the killings that has happened, in all the abductions that has happened, you know, with the tension, the palpable tension in the country, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has not seen it wise to hold a broadcast and address Nigerians. At least let Nigerians know whether he's doing anything or not, that he can hear, he feels our pain, he understands what we are going through, and then roll out or tell us whether Nigerians will not expect that he will give us detailed security report, but at least let Nigerians know that they have a leader and something is being done about it. Do you think, or are we not deserving of such respect by a president that we elected to guard and to protect us, considering that regardless of everything that he's saying, his number one duty as a commander-in-chief of armed forces is security of lives and properties under him?
I think this your question would have been, that is a very germane question, but then the answer, I think what is most important to Mr. President and his co-travelers today in his administration is how they win election 2027. Whatever happens is secondary. What is primary to these people today in power, from the president to the least councillor, is how they are going to win election 2027. Even if it remains only 50,000 Nigerians to vote for them and for them to govern 2027, it does not matter anything. What you see the presidential media men, even the National Security Advisor himself, what they are trying to do across the country, they are jubilating and they are proud that their party is working stronger every day because governors are decamping, the numbers of governors are decamped, the numbers of senators are decamped, the entire party structure, PDP structure that decamped to APC. It is what they are celebrating in this country today. They don't care about who the numbers of people that be kidnapped, the numbers of farmers that could not go back to farm, the numbers of civil servants that what they earn in a month do not have value. It could not feed them more than 2 weeks. The rest of the 2 weeks they had to trek to work. It is not their business. So to me, I want to, with all humility and respect, to say this is anti-people's government. They don't care about the people. I think what we are facing today, it is not bad, even if Mr. President is addressing this country every week, to give us hope as a father of the nation, as the #1 security coordinator, as the commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces Federal Republic of Nigeria. We need to hear from him. There is a program we do in my church every January. I won't mention my church. every January, people willingly will be coming to sow seed to support that program, but not until the general overseer announced that by January social period, this program will be held the next year. A lot of people will not come to sow seed. From there, from that place you can capture your analysis that when Mr. President come to address the public, the whole country, there are a lot of fear that will disappear. People will be emboldened now that yes, as from now, Mr. President has addressed us, he has given us hope. You understand? But not that hope, not the hope that is turning to hopelessness now. We need the president to address this country, not to say we are on top of the issue. No, we are tired of government being on top of the issue, but this thing still continues. We are talking about the killing of a brigadier general. Few days later, kidnapped school girls in Kebbi. Few days later, church invasion in Kwara. Few days later, school abduction in Kwara. Yesterday, I think about 28 teenagers were working in their parents' farm. Yes. Somewhere around Sokoto State. They were kidnapped. So that is to say the situation is not improving at all.
Oh, and to add to what you have said,
yes.
As at yesterday, the news filtering out this morning from Katsina State, it's very important to note that sometime last week in Katsina State, about 5 local governments held peace talks with bandits. And the news filtering out this morning from Katsina State is saying that one of the bandit leaders have built a community 50 million naira and has given them deadline. I think it's one Korje community or so. I hope I got that right. In Katsina State, build them 50 million naira with time limits. And he's threatening that if they do not pay that money within that time, that there'll be repercussions. There'll be repercussions. And we have a federal government. And we have security operatives. Security operatives who withdraw from their positions 30 minutes to tragedy. Which means they do have information.
Yes.
Because Kebbi State Governor, you know, governors have been saying this thing, but Kebbi State Governor came out boldly to ask that question. Who instructed the military to withdraw? 30 minutes before the invasion. That invasion. Yes. Which means the military had information.
And the DSS had earlier given information.
The DSS.
That these people are coming.
And it's worthy of note that DSS under the current leadership has been doing well, especially in information gathering and, you know, information. DSS has been doing well. But the truth remains that there has to be synergy. There has to be synergy. So now DSS gets information and passes it over to the military, passes it over to the state governor, and then 30 minutes to the same tragedy that has been forecasted, the military withdraws. The Kebbi State Governor, and I'm joining forces to ask, just like the Kebbi State Governor is asking, who asked the military to withdraw 30 minutes to that invasion?
Yes.
And here the president is saying he is vowing to defeat bandits. How? And interestingly, he's not even the one saying it. He's a representative.
Yes.
That is saying it.
Yes.
I mean, did Nigerians vote for Bayo Onanuga? Did Nigerians vote for presidential aides and spokesmen? Right? This is not the president speaking. This is the president's representative,
yes.
Tajuddin Abbas, speaking at Arewa Consultative Forum 25th anniversary. That is not coming from the president. Even though one would say he's representing the president, but the president so far has not done a broadcast to address Nigerians.
We want to hear the voice of our president. There is no, if my children are in need of me, there's no numbers of people I send to them.
From the position the federal government has taken,
yes.
Do you see the political will to crush insecurity?
It is security is not something. It's like somebody is sick, and your doctor is saying, "I believe you are leaving this hospital safe, secured, and protected. I believe you are leaving this hospital healthy." That is the word of mouth. This same doctor has not come with any injection or any type of drugs to administer to the body, but he's just giving ordinary. No, let us see the action. Number one thing, the DSS has tried. The DSS, their own is to gather intelligence, to share this intelligence with other agencies that are going to swing into physical actions. And the DSS has done this. The people that are supposed to swing into physical action has swung into that action, but minutes before the invaders arrived, they disappeared. And the government is saying, ooh. And I Jackson Lekon Ojo, I am also saying, ooh.
Instructed the military
the military to move from that place. 30 minutes later, the invaders came. Ooh.
All right. Good question. And still on insecurity, U.S. federal lawmaker Riley Moore has urged Nigeria to immediately release Sunday Jackson, a farmer sentenced to death for killing an armed herdsman who stabbed him during a violent encounter in Adamawa State. Moore said Jackson's freedom is one of the conditions the U.S. is considering as part of discussions to begin a military partnership with Nigeria. He disclosed this during an interview on Fox News, noting that recent talks between the U.S. government and a Nigerian delegation led by NSA Nuhu Ribadu were productive. Jackson's case dates back to 2015 when a herdsman grazed cattle on his farmland and attacked him with a knife. Although Jackson acted in self-defense and sustained stab wounds, he was convicted of culpable homicide and sentenced to death by hanging in 2021. Multiple appeals, including to the Supreme Court, failed. Activists and lawyers criticized the judgment as unjust and dangerous for future self-defense cases, leaving a state pardon from the Adamawa governor as Jackson's only remaining lifeline. Moore also condemned the growing insecurity in Nigeria, particularly the recent abductions of schoolgirls and teachers in the north. He urged the Nigerian government to disarm violent militant groups in the Middle Belt, insisting that addressing such threats is essential before deeper U.S.-Nigeria security cooperation can progress. Jackson, what do you make of this story?
Even the issue of Sunday Jackson, even in the military and paramilitary, when they deploy them to go and curb a particular situation, they give them warning. They say, don't get there and begin to shoot indiscriminately, but make sure you are safe. What is the meaning of make sure you are safe? By the time they say don't go there and begin to shoot, but by the time they are seeing that their life is at risk, they need to shoot in order for them to go back safely. So that is to say self-defense. Even in the native law, self-defense is allowed. Kill them before they kill you. That is the rule. So Sunday Jackson has not done anything bad, but just because I don't want to use a particular statement not to incite a religious problem. Maybe because Sunday Jackson is who he is. Maybe because he do not have a senator as father or uncle. maybe because it's not related to any member of House of Representatives or anybody in the presidency. That is to say, if the cow had wanted to kill Sunday Jackson, and Sunday Jackson overpowered the cow and killed the cow, Sunday Jackson would still remain where he is since that time till now. That is to say, nobody, even if cow is coming to kill you, if somebody knock at your gate and want to shoot you, you better allow him to shoot you. Because if you want to defend yourself and attack him, he eventually you might end up dying in the prison. So it's so unfortunate. And I'm very, very happy that that is part of the precondition for settlement or for collaboration with Nigerian military. And I want to see if the instruction or the condition given by America will be more superior to our fundamental human rights in Nigeria. I will be surprised at the end of the day.
When you say to our fundamental human rights, one will be asking the question, do we even have fundamental human rights effective in Nigeria?
And they will tell you we have.
The case of Samuel Jackson, where he has the right to live.
Yes.
And the armed Fulani herdsmen broke that. He also has the right to dignity of human life.
Yes.
Right? He also has the right to even labor. This was his farmland, and there was an invasion.
Yes.
Right? And it has gone down annals of history. Like, it has gone down annals of history that a lot of killings by Fulani herdsmen are being done on farmlands.
Yes.
And he has evidence of that attack with the stab wounds on his body.
And
Nigerian judiciary.
How many of the Fulani herdsmen that have been arrested and prosecuted and sentenced to prison till today?
Actually, the federal government,
yes,
the military has always said that, if they repent, they will be welcomed back and they will be rehabilitated and reintegrated into the country. A military officer, I've forgotten his name, I don't know whether he's the present or the former, once said that, I still have that video. He said that a repentant Boko Haram member can actually be the president of this country. It was said by a chief of army staff. The video is I still have that video. That a repentant Boko Haram member can be the president of this country. What does that tell you? So in this country, if you are a bandit, kill as much as you want. And when you are caught, you just repent. And
your sins
are forgiven. However, a Nigerian who is not violent and who is forced to defend himself will die by hanging for daring, even having the audacity
to defend
his life and kill the Fulani herdsmen. And the interesting thing is this. Sunday Jackson, according to the story, has stab wounds, evidence of the attack.
Yes.
But that does not matter.
No.
So that's why I have always asked.
Because it's not, if Sunday Jackson is equally a Fulani man, you understand? Possibly his sins would have been forgiven if he has committed any sin at all.
Is there something that the federal government is not
Can I tell you something? I have one Babangida, General Babangida School, the former military president. He said during our time, we don't appreciate, we don't negotiate with the rascals. If the level of your threat is minimal, we send you to the court. But if your level of threat is so astronomical, we send you to God. That's what Babangida said.
What would say?
So by here, now, you can kill as many as possible. Whenever you are arrested, you just submit, repented, and you can later become president of Nigeria. Then the victim's family will be there to be in sorrow forever.
The crime he committed was fighting to stay alive. And one would say, to a large extent, Nigerians are Nigerians on their own, in this crisis, are Nigerians on their own. Now, you are unarmed. We are not allowed to defend ourselves. Even in face of death, We cannot defend ourselves, even in face of death. We dare not defend ourselves.
We are not defended by the power that be.
Because the fate of Samuel Jackson might just be the fate of any Nigerian who decides to defend himself. And we trust the military on one hand to defend us, because, I mean, if we defend ourselves, we are going to die for it. And, you know, just like what happened in Kebbi State, 30 minutes to the invasion, you know, just like the Kebbi State governor asked, the military withdrew. So who do we trust at this point? And it's very essential, before I round up this program, I want to take a minute to thank a gentleman, Harrison Gwamnishu, who has taken it upon himself. I mean, he has no military training, to the best of my knowledge, nothing at all, but has taken it upon himself to liaise with with the police and the vigilantes, cutting across from Edo State to Kwara State to different states, rescuing victims of abduction, rescuing victims, you know, of this banditry and terrorism. This is one man who has made great impact. Harrison Gwamnishu, I watched your video yesterday where you were so downcast, you were tired. And I could see that your heart was bleeding. You were literally crying in that video. We see you. Nigerians see you. The world is seeing you. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for putting your life on the line. Thank you for putting your resources on the line, for helping people who the government has failed, you know, to a large extent. You are just one man, but you have made so much impact, not just to the people around you, but to even the voiceless. You have been the voice of the voiceless. You have been helping people. I also want to thank the Edo State, the DPO of Auchi State, who also went out to help you, you know, when you were fighting to rescue people who were abducted in Edo State. Thank you so much, Harrison Gwamnishu. I don't do this. I don't do this, but I just have to. It is time that we thank the people who have gone out of their way, sacrificed their lives, put their lives on the line to be patriotic to this nation and to help Nigerians, especially at this very, very sensitive time where Nigeria is bleeding. The world is seeing you. I see you. Everybody sees you. And I want to use this moment to say thank you to Harrison Gwamnishu. God bless you. And we round up this show at this time. Thank you so much, Chief Jackson Lekonjo, for coming. It's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to have these hot hours with you.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you so much, our viewers, for always staying connected to us. We wrap it up at this time. I remain Laurentia Ugu. Transition News comes up next. Do not go away.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability